Compton, I could have easily came out and said, I did this, I did that. I done killed a whole bunch of niggas. I done just giving off fact where I'm from. But that ain't me. I'd rather talk about my reality. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about something a little bit more deeper than that.
This is the 4th episode of For the Record with Jazzy Lowe, and today I have 2 special guests. We have one familiar face, Chris Townsend. I like to call him my hip hop sensei. I feel like at this point, that's basically what you are.
Much appreciated.
We also have a newcomer. His name is Thomas Bailey. He is a boxer, a poet, and he's also a trainer. Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am.
We are here to talk about Kendrick Lamar. Obviously, last week on May 13th, we got Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which is Kendrick's 5th highly anticipated studio album. Before he drops the album, he always drops The Heart, which is the series that we've been getting. And The Heart Part 5 dropped the Sunday before the album dropped. I know we haven't really had time to sit with the album or with that single, but have y'all been following the Heart series?
So actually, like, to be honest, the Heart Part, like, not my favorite out of the catalog. The whole series, even though the Heart Part 2 is just amazing. But like, I appreciate it, but like, they're hard to listen to typically because they so dense. Honestly, like, when I heard this past one was the 5. When I heard it, I had 2 completely different reactions from when I heard it the first time, because I heard it first and then I saw the video. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, like with the dump fades or whatever they call, like, they hit completely different. Seeing the perspective that he spoke from. So, I mean, it's Kendrick. It's about what you expect from him, which is brilliant. But I definitely had, like, when I heard it the first time, I was like, okay, this is Kendrick rapping. Like, But then I saw the video, and by the time it got the nib, I went
deep fakes.
Deep fakes, yeah, deep fakes. Yeah, so, yeah, nah, I mean, it's incredible, man. It's Kendrick.
Yeah, so just to kind of put it out there for those that may not have checked it out, on the song The Heart Part 5, he samples Marvin Gaye's I Want You, and then the deep fakes is the morphs from his face to faces like Will Smith, O.J. Simpson, Jussie Smollett, Kobe. He did a lot of different people. So, but Thomas, what did you think how did you listen to it? Did you listen to the song first or did you watch the video?
I watched the video first, actually, and it just made sense to me. I think if I would have listened to the song first, it wouldn't have probably made sense to me. Of how how he was rapping, because Kendrick is gonna rap. He gonna tell a story in a different perspective that's not probably his story. But me watching the video first gave me a better perspective of things. And so it made me respect the song even more. I honestly, the Heart Part 5 is probably number 2 for me in the Heart songs. You know what I'm saying? So
number 1, 4 is number 1 for me.
4 definitely is number 1. 4 is definitely number 1, of course. Yeah, but me seeing the video, it was like I get where he going, and so
I was just kind of paying attention to some of the references like while I was watching it, and I feel like when you saw Will Smith come up, Kanye West come up, he said something about being bipolar, and then when it got to Nipsey, you heard something like looking over Sam or pray for Sam. I knew that was like him at that point talking from the perspective of all of these people, maybe. And then one thing he kept saying throughout the song is, this is the culture. Like, this is what's normalized in our communities, like murder, trauma.
Yeah.
Real quick, I got it pulled up, actually. History repeats again, make amends, then find a nigga with the same skin and do it again. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle. Hard to deal with the pain when you're sober. By tomorrow, we forget the remains. We start over. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was like the perfect transition over into introducing Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally. And I saw so many people kind of twisting some of the meanings too, with him like standing in a certain area in the corner saying that's like the heart, the actual heart, and like him breathing on the track represents how many pulses. Like, that was going a little bit too deep into it.
They were going too far with it.
Yeah. for sure.
Hey, Chris, what you think about that though?
I really didn't think much of it, honestly. Like I just thought he was in the right third of the frame,
Yeah.
and then like it like leaving space, like holding space, like almost, you know what I'm saying? Like holding space. He talk about ancestors a lot, and he talk about on the album being a medium, which we'll get into and stuff like that. So I just felt like,
Yeah.
you know, like it has some type of symbolic reference, like, you know, not even being in the center of the frame, like, you know what I'm saying? Because he ends up in the center of the frame by the time that his face started changing too. So like I ain't even think too much into it. And then I try not to think so
Yeah.
much into it too, because it could be all there or it could be all purposely left for interpretation. But he said in past interviews that the fans be like dead on, especially like
Yeah.
with Damn, like being a double album and, you know, being forward and backwards and stuff like that.
But
So,
I
Yeah.
think also, man, the reason I asked you that, Chris, is because it's like, it go back to Jazz's question is like, when you talk about the culture,
mhm.
our culture is like it's kind of representative of that.
You asking me about the quote.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm asking you about the quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the quote, you know what I'm saying? You know how the culture, so we call our culture, you know what I'm saying? We love our culture, of course, but our culture is kind of, you know what I'm saying? I mean, from Kendrick point of view, from what I get, it's like we kind of glorify the gun violence, you know what I'm saying? Uh the ratchet stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to see how did you perceive that?
When I hear that quote, I just think about how we have to kind of detach ourselves from reality to a certain extent to enjoy the culture. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's money, like you said, it's money. It's dulling like the real pain and like the uncomfortable conversations
Yeah.
long enough to make it to the next day. And then like you say, start over. And that's the problem. Like you always start from square one every day. And
Mm.
you're unable to build on stuff. But like you say, that's the culture. And like
Yeah.
without getting too deep into that, like Jazz say, that was like really the perfect intro to Mr. Morale because it was having a bunch of uncomfortable conversations over and over again and
Yeah.
really giving us a glimpse into like his life. It's like, bro, the whole time y'all looking at me and glorifying me, like, I'm just a person, bro. Like that's it. I'm
Yes.
just a person. I'm a special person, I'm a
Right,
different kind of
right,
person, but I'm just a person too. I have the same
right.
perspective that you have. It's just that like I'm a multimillionaire.
Yeah, I just got money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I'm still dealing with the same
yeah.
issues and stuff like that. Yeah.
So now, I mean that one quote. I'm glad you pulled that, Jazz, because that really like encompasses really the whole.
Just constantly ignoring like the different things that we're going through, like using drugs, using money to kind of hide all those things and use it as a facade. So that brings me to the album title, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I personally feel like Mr. Morale is obviously Kendrick Lamar, then the Big Steppers is us tap dancing around us coming to terms with all those traumas. And I think that that's why the album is titled that way. And then throughout the album, you can hear like all the footsteps, which is something I didn't even catch until the end. I think it was like when he got
Yes.
my mother and
Man.
whatever.
Yeah,
Then I heard the feet, and I was like, oh, that must be the steps.
yeah.
But I didn't think about the tap dancing until somebody else pointed it out. The album talked about mental health. It talked about toxicity in relationships. It touched on queerness, fatherhood, like so many different things. But before we get into all of that, what were some songs that kind of stood out to y'all?
Tom, you can go first.
Hey, why you put it on me?
Well, you gave me the lob. You gave me the
Nah,
lob on the last one, so you
I
know.
will say, look, Chris, he really made me feel like I was going into it like a certain type of way, because he was like, this ain't like a music album that you're gonna like nod your head to, but it really ended up being that though. I was afraid to
yeah.
hey, I'm like, damn, so what he gonna say on here?
Under promise and over deliver. That's what I wanted you to get on it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I wanted you to go in with your own perception because I messed up. I was in a studio session when it came out. So I saw tweets from people who I know like are music heads and stuff like that. And like some of the stuff that I was seeing wasn't what you expect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had saw a fake track list and everything. So like when it finally came out and I got a chance to listen to it, I was like, oh, okay. But like as a super fan, like it gave me so much closure. Like
Oh God,
it's about him.
I ain't gonna lie, it got
He
me so
told you
much
everything that
closure.
he
I
hasn't
ain't
told
gonna,
you.
hey, real talk. Hey, look, Chris, when he said he had writer's block for 2 years, man, I felt that. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a poet, like, people don't know, like, it's hard to write. It's really hard to write. You know,
Turn it on and off.
it's you either got it or you don't at the moment. So for me, you know what I'm saying, she asked, you know, what was our favorite tracks? I definitely would say, what's the second track? What's the second track called?
N95, I think.
I love that one. I love that one. Count Me Out, and We Cry Together. Father Time.
Yeah.
Father Time probably is my favorite because I didn't get in, like, me and my father, we didn't have the best relationship growing up, but he was in my life. Like, so to like just throw it out there, me and my dad, like, so my dad cheated on his wife with my mom. So he denied me for a while. And so we didn't have the greatest relationship growing up, but now, like, me and my dad, like, we like best friends. We like the best of friends. But I mean, I still got daddy issues because I was so like mad at him and stuff like that for what he did. And it's like, damn, look at the fucked up shit I did. And it's like, that song just hit to me. And that'd probably be my favorite track, really. And it's just like, it just hit. It just, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, Silent Hill probably my favorite song on the album.
Silent Hill do hit.
Yeah, I've listened to that one.
That joint hit.
Count Me Out is like a perfect song. I hope he does that like on the Colors one day or something like that. He's way too huge to do Colors probably, but like I would love to see him do that.
That just like a Broadway play, fool.
Yeah, it really is, bro. So Silent Hill, Count Me Out, of course, N95.
Yeah.
Worldwide Steppers. Worldwide Steppers really, like, I was like, because I listened to them in my car. All of them the first time I got to listen to it in the car. So I'm riding around Memphis like,
yeah,
saying Whitney name on a track, bro. He talking about intimate experiences that he done had, all of this. Father Time definitely hit different. The first thing I thought about is we've never heard an artist talk about daddy issues from the perspective of a man. We always use daddy issues to cast a negative light on women and what they're missing emotionally and stuff. But like for him talking about like the toxic masculinity that is innately passed down from the dad unknowingly, like it's not like he's like, I'm teaching you how to be toxic. It's like, as a black man, this is what it means to be a black man.
This is what it means to be a man.
When he made the Kanye and Drake reference, I knew exactly what he meant. He didn't even have to go
right, like he said, yeah.
He was just like, what?
Like, you, like he said, when Drake and Kanye got together, he was confused, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's like from the, once again, the culture. We like, come on, bro. Nah, we don't do that.
Crossed here several times.
We don't do that.
So yeah, that one hit. Of course, Mother I Sober really hit hard.
Yeah.
That one hit like a ton of bricks. But this album, like, it's so dense. I'm really still digesting it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm really digesting it for real. It's really like, it's kind of almost like therapy for me right now.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Because these conversations, we really ain't never heard a person.
Even when he, what's the track called when she asking him about, do you have an addiction? Like, you need to, is that the Father Time, or I think that is the Father Time.
He said it once on Worldwide Steppers when he was in Copenhagen. Well, now that's what she said. She asked him, do you have a problem? But yeah, addiction. When she asked him about addiction, it was on side B for sure.
Yeah, I think that's Father Time.
Yeah. But like that's stuff that you don't hear people talk about. And the crazy part about it, Jazz, is I think we might have talked about it on the Drake episode, how a lot of what Kendrick talks about 50% of what Kendrick talk about is sex in his lyrics. Whether it be features or whether it be his personal songs, it's some type of sexual reference. He says something about it, even if he's referring to himself, you know what I'm saying, or referring to somebody else. Think about the first song on Good Kid, Mad City. What was
Sharine.
it about?
Sharine.
That's true.
Him going out of his way to get a piece.
Get it, yeah. Even
His
after
biggest
they
feature
kicking
verse.
in doors and stuff like that, he
Yeah.
trying to go get it with Sharine.
His biggest feature that ever like really put him onto the mainstream was on a song called Effing Problems.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? What else? Is that
Yeah.
you with them big old thighs out the school? The J305 and gave me high five. You know what I'm saying? So that's always an underlying thing. Like that's a whole completely different episode and conversation. But talking about sex addiction is something that is not very talked about, but it's tap danced around for sure. And to hear one of the biggest artists in human history talk about confronting his own problem with sex, that's the conversation that I haven't been seeing had online. Because that's different. That's heavy.
I have so many different thoughts. Like I was telling him earlier on the call, I really hate that, we're talking about this now because we've only had like a week to kind of sit on it. But I think the first impressions are good to get. Some of my favorite songs, just kind of thinking about it, definitely Die Hard, Rich Spirit, We Cry Together. Purple Hearts was like my first favorite song.
I saw you talking about. I knew you was gonna love that one. Though.
Yeah. I like Purple Heart though.
I
do. Love it. I feel like I'm kind of biased because I'm a Summer Walker fan, but she sounded perfect for that track. Count Me Out too, and Silent Hill was like my second favorite song on there. But like in general, I feel like this is probably the most introspective that we've heard Kendrick be, like, or like the most introspective album that he has.
Which is wild because the last three.
Much about him.
Yeah, the last three, if you count Section 80, the last four have all been very introspective. So he gives you more every time, which I appreciate it because he doesn't have to do that. As a big Beyonce fan, that was the biggest knock that people had on her in like the early 2000s is that she doesn't share enough about herself. She's too private. We don't know enough about her. And then like she did her documentary on HBO. You know what I'm saying? She started letting her fans more into her life and look at the following that she has now. You know what I'm saying? We celebrate her birthday. We know when Blue Ivy birthday is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I appreciate as a fan Kendrick allowing us this glimpse into his life because he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
I think it also raises a lot of questions too. It makes you think like, okay, for the past 5 years, somebody else brought up is that we were probably thinking, okay, he's at a point in his career where he can reap the benefits of, you know what I mean? Like all his riches, all his successes, but he's really been going through some shit. And that's how he opened the album. And then like, think about what he's rapping about. It's like, okay, what are my traumas? Like, what have I not come to terms with?
Yeah.
What effect is this having on the people that are around me? Why am I the person that I am? And how are my traumas connected to the way that I treat people and how I'm raising my kids or like how I treat myself? You know, like, I literally left the album after listening for like the second time, like, damn, like I really need to work on myself.
Nah, for real, Jad, like for real, like on some real stuff, that's really how I felt. Like that's how I felt. Like I thought, well, it probably was on my third listen where I felt like that. It was like, dang, I really gotta work on myself. It was like, man, it just hit because I mean, me going through my certain situations, like and he just posted something on his, I don't know if it was IG or I sent it on Twitter, but he was just like, I'm all of us. And I was like, yo, that's the realest thing ever because I mean, all of us are going through something.
We are human.
And we are human. And so for him to say like all of this stuff and like just he painted the perfect picture. And it's like, yeah, it's just on this platform now, and it's just like, damn.
I think that's why he wanted to put a song like Savior on there too, because you know how he starts off where he's like,
Right, correct.
LeBron, who else he say? Cole is not J. Cole is not your savior. I am not your savior. Like I was literally having a conversation with somebody like some months ago, and it was like, you know, the Black community going through all this right now, and Kendrick Lamar is supposed to be this Black leader. Where is he? All this, and I literally said to him like, that man is probably dealing with some of his own personal shit.
Personal stuff.
Black people are the only group in the world who are our entertainers are expected to be our leaders, and that's. He's a 35-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? He's finna turn 35 in a couple of weeks. Like, and I want to put this into perspective too. It's been 5 years since Damn, but he toured Damn into the end of 2019, right before the pandemic. His last Instagram post before the pandemic hit was him walking through Europe through like a crowd of 150,000 people, and it said gratitude. You can probably find it on YouTube. That was in the winter of 2019, like December 2019. That's more than 2.5 years after Damn came out. He toured that album. Like the biggest artists in the world who do arena tours, that's what they do. So when you think about, soon as he got off tour, 4 months later, the pandemic hit. Because you know he also went on the TDE tour too, the championship tour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in this very short period of time, he is sharing this with us. Also, you got to think about how old the photo on the album cover is, because he has dreadlocks now.
Yeah.
Right.
When his first child was born, it slipped out, but people didn't make a big deal about it. As a super fan, just being on some random stuff, like in maybe 2017, 2018, in an interview, Trap Kitchen made a reference to Kendrick's wedding. They were like, yeah, we're going to cater Kendrick's wedding. So he's probably been married for 4 or 5 or more years.
5 years.
So we don't know how old the babies are. You know what I'm saying? He got cornrows on the like I said, on the album.
He got the cornrows on the Damn album.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how long ago that was. We don't know.
We don't know how long. We don't know how long him and his lady been together.
Oh, since high school show.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what articles say, but you know what I'm saying? We don't really just know.
Yeah, she's just been there. We know that she's been
she's been there. And for like I said, for him the script, what's the song called? We Cry Together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be in a relationship to write some shit like that. To do that, you gotta know how it go. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that it's like that. I really do. Come on, Chris. You know I hate that. Man. But it's like that's sometimes how it goes.
And like his last verse on We Cry Together, it's really like
just a walk.
It's you say what?
It's out there on the walk.
Yeah. Like it was also so much perspective that it was like a series of tweets from a very fed up man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talking about like, hey, you are messed up. Like we shouldn't even be around each other because I'm messed up, you messed up. Your whole perspective on life is completely unrealistic.
Right.
You put your phone down, and like I appreciated that someone of his stature even has the perspective to see something like that, because he could just be laid up with his kids and his lady and don't even worry about like that type of stuff. But like Tommy said, like you have to have been like really been in it to understand that.
Yeah.
Like your whole head is messed up. And that encapsulated like how I feel a lot about dating and how social media plays a part in relationships and how people don't know how to communicate with each other. Like it's so many conversations that can be had about that one song. That's theater.
Right.
That lady is an actor.
Yeah.
So him being risky, really, I want to say that because this is the main point that I wanted to make about the album. I wanted to say it while I'm thinking about it. but I look at hip hop musicians, hip hop artists as jazz musicians because it's very improvisational. I consider Jay-Z to be one of the best, if not the best, jazz musicians ever
The
because it's
GOAT.
different in his voice. You know what I'm saying? Not writing and all that. I said that to say Kendrick Lamar, this album is very much so like Coltrane-esque. Coltrane in the mid-late 60s when he started just playing in
Right.
music that wasn't necessarily as pleasing to the ear. People be like, bro, what are you doing? Like people used to get up and lead the shows and all of that stuff, but it pushed jazz forward. And I feel like more than anything, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers has again like placed the genre forward in many ways. Kind of like Jesus did, like from a production standpoint, from a content standpoint. I really feel like it's uncomfortable because the pandemic caused us to all sit with our BS and kind of like reflect, and everything came up to the surface. It's very uncomfortable because we haven't had a lot of these conversations for ourselves. A lot of us have very similar traumas, and it's triggering.
It's true. Yeah. Right. Sometimes it's hard to listen to that album.
Yeah, for sure. And like, to be honest, I haven't really just been bumping it for enjoyment like that. I listen to the more light.
I listen to it because of I can relate to it.
No, facts.
You know, it's not for enjoyment. It's not, you know what I'm saying, because it's got that thumping sound. It's because it's like, yo, I literally relate to some of these parts.
Facts.
You know, and some of them is triggering. Some of them parts I gotta skip through.
Facts.
I like how the album really kind of addresses some solutions, or like what his solution was, because a lot of times in hip hop we talk about these stories like, you know, murder, gang violence, and things like that, things that we call the culture. But we don't offer solutions to it, or we don't talk about the effects that it does have on us. So I like that he painted the picture for everybody in that sense. But one of the other things that he touched on was breaking generational curses, like taking some of the traumas that we go through and figuring out, okay, how can we stop this and prevent this from happening? Like with the homophobia, when he's talking about how his auntie is now a man, or like how his cousin is now a woman, and us not really being educated on or being used to having conversations about homosexuality, molestation, sexual assault, to where we're tap dancing around this subject. And then he also used R. Kelly as an example, like saying, okay, if R. Kelly wasn't, which is a touchy topic in itself,
right.
If he wasn't molested in the first place, would all that have happened? If he would have come to terms with, okay, something is wrong with me, like mentally something is happening, and I'm projecting this energy on everybody else around me, like,
yeah,
we still look at him the same, but we still look at that situation the same. And a lot of people, they didn't sit right with them, like they don't like that he used the F word. I'm not gonna use it here.
Yeah.
But like, and then on the same album, he said a lot of controversial things. And
he had Kodak Black on the album.
Exactly.
Which on a few different layers, you know, people show outrage about, and it's not my place to say whether it's valid or not. But, you know, my homie Bernie, shout out my homie Bernie Amsterdam, greatest producer in the world. Well, we was just talking about last night, and he brought something to my attention that I didn't think about. I know the Kodak Black stuff with women specifically, you know, rub people the wrong way. And that brings up a conversation of like forgiveness and like, is there things that you can't come back for and all of that? But one thing I didn't think about was Nip, right? And Kodak Black, and how his people feel about Kodak Black, and on some West Coast stuff.
That's true.
Shit, I didn't think
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A week after speaking, you know, channeling Nip and speaking from his perspective,
okay, so
and then having Kodak Black narrate his album.
I've always wondered what people were thinking about that too, like why, or what Kendrick Lamar was thinking when he did that. Like, I'm sure he's aware of the sexual assault allegations, and I think Kodak at some point was actually charged for these too, right? Like sexual assault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword because like we have perspectives that unfortunately through this medium we can't completely talk about, right? Because they're like, it's triggering for one, and certain people feel a certain type of way, and this is with respect to those people, myself included, right?
Yeah.
But you have to, it begs the question, what is forgiveness? why do we judge people at a higher standard than we judge ourselves?
Then we
Why do we
judge
let some
ourselves.
stuff slide and we don't let other stuff slide? Because the thing is, like, you know what I'm saying, with all due respect to these people, like I said, Trey Songz, Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying, R. Kelly, this goes on. Why do we cancel some but keep the other ones? My question is, who gets to say what slides and what doesn't slide, for one? You brought up a great point. Hold on 1 second. You brought up a great point talking about his age, because as I understand it, Kodak is only like 23 or 24 years old at this point as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, this isn't me taking a stance, but this is me kind of offering a perspective of who gets to decide what, you know what I'm saying, whether somebody gets to continue to have a career because of problems that they've had. Kodak even said in his verse, every time I get a chance, I'm spending time with my son. I ain't had no father.
Yeah.
Ain't that what we doing all this for?
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, last night, it really had my antennas crazy because I was like, I wonder how people in the West Coast feel about Kodak being on here. But at the same time, I feel like his very presence is symbolic. And so
it's needed. It's needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Where I was coming from was, like you just said, bro. So you said, like, what's the thing between, you know, Chris Brown, Trey Songz, and R. Kelly? We've seen multiple occasions of these people doing things. Chris Brown has, I ain't gonna lie to you. If a motherfucker throw my Lamborghini keys out, ain't no telling what the fuck I made it. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't blame him. And then he young at that time, but he's matured. We ain't heard nothing lately of Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know. A lot of shit be like Twitter talk. Like people.
Yeah, exactly. It's fake outrage. And like I said, of course, I have my own personal code of ethics when it comes to supporting whoever for whatever. Then you had a whole conversation about separating the art from the artist. But I also thought about this. I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, I feel like Kendrick and Cole have identified brothers like Kodak and 21. It was like, let's help save these young brothers' lives or have an impact on their lives. Right. You know what I'm saying? People had thrown away Kodak a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He was locked up. Even Master P was like, ain't no helping this young man. So it's like, while Kendrick isn't a savior, his very presence in that young man's life can change the whole course of his life. I saw Kodak like shout out to my Hebrew brother, Kendrick. And like, I see that they have a mutual connection there, right? As Black Hebrew brothers and stuff like that. It's like, would Malcolm Little be able to be Malcolm X in this day and age? If somebody didn't take a chance on them, if somebody didn't allow them to be on there. Also with Baby Keem's presence on the album, I love Baby Keem. He offered a different perspective, and they keep giving us deep bits and pieces about how Kendrick's presence in his life has helped put his life on a whole different, platform. We talk about, I watched Keem make $1 million and bury his mama and bury his daddy, you know what I'm saying, about his daddy a casket. Or Keem said, I made $1 million about my daddy a casket. He talk about buying his grandmama a house and stuff like that. Like, these are young Black men's lives that he is positively changing. And he got receipts for it. If he was just a regular person and not a rapper, they would give him awards for that. They would be talking on the news about that. But he was able to take his influence and his platform and change one of his family members' lives. And I appreciate that. Like, the mentorship, I guess, is the overarching thing here. Is like him taking young men, even the other young man who signed to PG Lane, who's on one of the songs, Terrell Leon. I hope that I'm saying that correctly, but like, I appreciate what Kendrick really doing.
What do you guys think about people saying that this is his best album? This also sparked the argument for other people because they feel like, all right, so what is? They're like, okay, so what is Kendrick's best album? Would it be
Good Kid, Mad City?
Like, I know what this is gonna say.
I haven't had it.
Bro,
I really
Chris,
haven't.
bro, Chris,
It's
what you gonna
obvious.
say, Chris?
It's the pimp.
What you gonna say, Chris?
You
What you
know,
gonna say,
It's a
bro?
simple butterfly for sure.
It's not
But,
too. Look.
but
Right,
look, this is why I say this. This is why I say this.
Hold on. Hold on. I gave you your spot.
You got it. You got it.
It's Good Kid, then To Pimp a Butterfly,
Those are interchangeable, really.
and I give you.
I got Damn at number one. Then
He has Damn at number one before this one. Even Kendrick had Damn at number one.
I'm in between. I see that's where I like number three
Damn,
is like,
and then Good Kid, Mad City.
bruh, nah.
See, like, okay, so first of all, I haven't ranked Mr. Morale yet because it's too early.
It's too early for that. But
I listen to Pimp a Butterfly every day for a month. I listened to Damn every day for a month after it came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm still.
So where was you at when Good Kid came out? Where was you at?
I was in college, bro. I skipped the whole day. Hold on. 45 seconds, 60 seconds. Let me tell you my Good Kid, Mad City story.
Okay.
It leaked. Two of my roommates was listening to the leak the 3 days before it came out. I refused to listen to it at all, right?
Yeah.
I went to a party the night before it came out. They played Poetic Justice at the end of the party. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna listen to nothing else. That morning I had it on my iPod. I plugged it in. I was living at the Point in Murfreesboro, right?
Yeah, I remember
By the
that.
time I get to down North Tennessee to Rutherford, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe is on. I bust a left, right? And the beat drop on that joint. I didn't go to class that day. I rode around listening to Good Kid, Mad City for the rest of that day, okay?
Yeah.
So I said all of that to say, like, Good Kid, Mad City, when we talk about Kendrick catalog, you know how we talk about the best rapper? I don't name Jay-Z in my top 5 because that's like putting Michael Jordan in your top 5. That's how I feel about Good Kid, Mad City. Because
I fucking hate this nigga.
Yeah, it's like I
hate this nigga.
I can't really.
I hate talking to you, bro.
I can't rank it. We do this every time, Jazz, just for perspective.
I know.
Every time we talk, we do this. But like To Pimp a Butterfly, bro, like I don't know, it's just perfect. Everything about it was perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about it was perfect.
But look. So what was so perfect about it?
Really, my favorite part is how he incorporated the jazz along with like the hip hop.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
Never heard that before, and like I was very much getting into jazz at the time too.
At the time,
all the
we talked about
it on there, bro. Like Robert Glass, like it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? But he said that Damn is Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly put together.
Nah.
He said that on Big Boy.
I'm just saying though, bro. Good Kid.
I can't really rank him, bro.
Good Kid could be like a freaking movie, bro. Like that junk is just.
It is a movie. It is.
So, I've always wondered, like, are those skits are so spot on? Like them junks, he made them for the album, right? Like, but
his real homies. Them his his parents for real.
It sounds like a real movie.
See, I never knew that. That's what I always wondered. I was like, is them his real parents?
Them his real parents, them his real homies. So like I gotta say, I would have to say To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid probably tied for me then. I probably got a time, bro. Cause I love To Pimp a But and the older I get, the more I love it. It's aging so well. I just picked it up when I found out Mr. Morale was coming back out. Like I found myself going back to that one more than all of the other ones besides Good Kid, Mad City, because like Poetic Justice is a perfect song.
Nigga, Money Trees is a perfect song.
Yeah, bro. The album is.
That's
perfect,
what I'm saying.
You the only knock I have on Good Kid, Mad City is that it didn't have to be as long.
Look, Chris, the only thing that can stand out on To Pimp a Butterfly, and I love To Pimp a Butterfly. The only thing that can stand out is More the Man. That could top Good Kid, Mad City. That's the only song.
All right.
All right. It's all right.
I mean, bro. It's all right. I mean, bro, like lyrically too, bro. That's probably the last time that we'll get a chance to hear Kendrick in like a true hip hop vibe. You know what I'm saying? What do you have to offer? Well, then they're gonna tell me before I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like as a hip hop nerd, bro, hearing him in different pockets,
I
hearing him in them
understand
different.
it, bro. But
It was
come
just,
on now,
it was
bro.
just,
From
it was
the
just,
it's
it did
the
it for me,
sequence,
bro.
cuz you really felt like you was. I felt like I was on Rosecrans with Good Kid, Mad City, cuz.
Next,
Come on, bro.
it's one of a kind, bro. It's one of a
I
kind.
felt like I was in a sliding door. Come on, bro.
Get out the van, homie.
Bro, you gotta know, bro. Like, come on, fool. We to Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah, it's for the hip hop nerds. I love that album, but man, Good Kid, Mad City, bro. It made you feel like you was there, like you was in that situation.
Facts. And in my opinion, the only hip hop album that made me feel like that, and this is a little bit off topic, but the only album that made me feel like Good Kid, Mad City after that, as far as I was like, this is a hip hop masterpiece, other than his other albums, was Victory Lap. I felt like Victory Lap was the best hip hop LP, start to finish, since Good Kid, Mad City, with the exception of To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn.
I love Victory Lap.
But like, think about this. Think about this perspective, and this might be a little spicy, right?
Shit, here we go.
Whose catalog can we really compare to Kendrick's? Because one thing that, and people don't like using this word this soon.
We finna get to that topic.
But he has not put out one since Good Kid, Mad City that is not a classic.
Let's get into it. Let's get into
all
it.
of them.
Let's get into it.
And Tom, I know you're not gonna want to hear this.
We started the conversation.
I know you're not gonna want to hear this.
All right. Before you go on.
Hey, Jazz, I really don't like talking to this nigga. I really don't like
talking to this nigga. I really don't like dropping classics.
Wait. Hold up. Okay, so that brings me to the next question, okay? So a lot of people know, like, when Kendrick dropped, it's over with. Like, everybody listens. He told y'all on Baby King shit, I'm smoking on your top 5 tonight. Like, he knows that people have lists, and he trying to tell
Omega.
You, like,
I'm the last. It's where
like,
it is.
So if Kendrick doesn't see anybody next to him, who is that other person that y'all think is next to him? Like, who
Baby King?
Number 2.
Baby King is number 2 in his perspective. Probably he probably passing it off to King. But nah, I don't think this is a conversation that's even fair to have anymore, to be honest. Like, to be completely honest.
What are you talking about, fool?
I don't think it's fair because it ain't no conversation.
Nobody can stand next to Kendrick right now.
Yes, the only one that can is no. It's a lot of people that can stand next to Kendrick. If I'm being honest, because this really
no, it's not a lot of people that can stand next to him. It's only one person. Y'all know who that is.
Are you talking about? You got to be talking about Hov, because I know you ain't talking about Jermaine.
Jermaine.
We said his name.
Jermaine.
I've been poking him.
Jermaine Cole. You know who I'm talking about.
Hold on, Tom.
You know who I'm talking about.
I want to give perspective to the people watching.
Hold on.
I want to give perspective to the people watching.
Come on, bro. Like, hold up, bro. You're not gonna put disrespect on Jermaine Cole's name.
I would not.
Nigga didn't kill. He didn't kill. How many features he didn't kill?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
How many albums he didn't kill?
Most of them.
Not all of them.
You see what I'm talking about, Jay? Yeah,
so let's get to the nitty gritty. Look, let's talk about let's poke the elephant in the room, okay?
Me and Chris on the same page. Like,
so I wanted to offer this perspective because I know that this whole conversation, Thomas is my homie. We've been friends for years. Like we went to high school together. I know that he's a huge Cole fan. He know that I'm the Kendrick super fan. He probably the biggest Cole fan. I know I might be the biggest Kendrick fan. We've had this conversation before, and on his podcast, y'all listen to as well. Me and Jazz are both Kendrick stans. She knows how big of a Kendrick stan I am, and we've probably had this conversation about him and Cole before. My whole thing is I don't think it's fair to compare them because, like, there are so many other artists who make music that sound almost exactly the same for real, and we don't compare them. But just because these two guys have taken a divergent path as far as like and deviated from like what the rest of hip hop has done, we feel the need to compare them. But on a hip hop nerdy level, like unfortunately, like there was
Here he
some
go.
point in
Here
time,
he go.
there was some point in time where they too went in divergent paths.
Right.
Because like I feel like their approach to it is different. First of all, Cole has fed us so much more than Kendrick, which I appreciate. Because like between his Dreamville collect, we'll never get a collective Black Hippie album. We've had several Dreamville albums. The way that he runs his label,
Yeah, nah, you right. You right. You right.
he
You right.
gets more shots up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Than Kendrick. And in that respect, I appreciate it because he done hopped on the Metro Boomin beats and ripped them and
And
killed
ripped
them
him.
and gave us verses. And we wish we could see Kendrick work out a little bit more in that respect. But from a technicality standpoint, from an influence standpoint, from a lyrical content standpoint, from a skill standpoint, and from like I've been to a Kendrick and a J. Cole concerts in the same building, and they look completely different
Yeah.
as far as attendance. You know what I'm saying? So like
You
with
talking
that
about that
being
bridge
said,
song or what?
Bridgestone.
Okay.
I was at
I,
the KOD tour.
I was at the KOD tour too,
Yeah,
and
I was there
I was at the Damn tour.
because Drake was there the next night. I was at the Drake tour the
Oh
next
yeah, you
day.
did do that. Yeah, you did do
Yeah, and
that. I
then
remember
Dan
that.
was there like 6 months before. I mean, a year before, right? Dan
Yeah,
was
right,
August 31st of 2018.
right.
Yeah, 2017, 2018.
So, what's your like? What's
Last
your
guy,
state?
bro, it's Kendrick, bro. Kendrick is number one.
Man, come on, bro. Hold on, bro. Like,
Okay, you don't have to give your top 5 on here. I was just curious to see,
I don't think
like,
it's
because
because
that'd
like
be a whole nother episode.
because see, yeah, it's the we could talk about the other guy too.
I was
You know
just
what I'm
wondering
saying?
why I feel like stood next to him, because at this point,
I know who's stand. I know who's standing next to these.
We know who stands next. We all know who stands next to him now. It's the three-headed monster.
Right.
You know
But
what I'm
I got
saying?
some. But for me, it's somebody else that we just totally missing out of this group.
Please.
It's Crit.
I mean, so I was just about to make the point of people from that class. So real hip hop fans, all of these guys came out around the same time.
Same time, right?
So we got
Crit,
Drake,
Crit
we
was
got
here
Drake,
probably
Cole, and
before.
Kendrick, but then you got Wiz, Big Sean, Big Crit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of those guys who are still here, who are still very much here. And like I say, I don't think it's fair that those guys don't get their just due because Kendrick is a once in a lifetime artist and he is their peer. ASAP Rocky included. You know what I'm saying?
But
to a certain
you
extent,
know what?
myself included, we kind of like separate them. A lot of us we say it's because of the level of fame that they have, but like think about how great of an artist you have to be to separate yourself from your peer. Say all of their names in a verse and then do it for real.
It's just so many different ways that you could look at that though. Like
Absolutely.
like lyrically, you could put Cole next to Kendrick. But like you said, like with the influence, and like stardom, all of that comes into play. I mean, depending on what your criteria for the best of the best is. But like lyrically, they
See,
definitely.
people don't listen to enough hip hop music to have this conversation either, which is
Of
why
course.
I
Come on, bro. Listen, bro. You know, now you know that.
you got Black Thought, you got Royce the 5'9",
You got Royce the 5'9".
you got
Come on, man.
JID, you got Earth Gang,
You got
Smino,
Machine, Benny the Butcher.
Hey, listen,
Fred.
now, hold on.
Now,
Hey, I mean, we could go on a whole tangent about
Yeah,
Benny
this is
Butcher.
the real golden era of hip hop right now.
Freddie Gibbs. I was gonna say, like,
Yeah, that's
for
why I
real.
said Fred for sure. So like the thing about Kendrick as well is that this 5-year break has given almost everybody we just named a chance to either revitalize their career or make their career.
Yeah.
To be honest, if it wasn't for him coming through, and while we didn't say Wale either.
Yeah,
while
yeah.
I put Wale
Man, you right. You
dog.
right,
That's
Craig.
my dog too.
Lee, that's my apologies, bro.
Yeah,
man.
but because Kendrick is as great as he is, like it just made us be like, okay, that's what we need. Like in this lane, like that's all we need. We appreciate it.
When y'all was talking about the J. Cole versus Kendrick thing, my biggest takeaway from that is that Kendrick Lamar just has better albums to me. Like a girl tweeted the other day, she said Kendrick Lamar's albums are like reading books. And I was like, damn, like Me and my brother was having the same conversation because a lot of times when you listen to a Kendrick verse or when you listen to these albums, you have to revisit it a couple times.
Yeah, it's
and
dense.
each time you can come back with something different. And that's just how he's coming each and every time.
Now,
But with Cole, to me, Cole's approach when he raps is totally different. Like he gonna say some shit, but it's Kendrick's. It's his delivery. It's the voices that he makes. It's the
production.
It's the production. It's the storytelling. It's
However,
going. You just never really know.
We have to talk about this too.
Yeah.
The reason why Cole is in the conversation is because at a time where Kendrick started to kind of separate himself, Cole was the only one who was putting out stuff just as good. After Good Kid, Mad City came out, didn't nobody want to rap no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, for real.
So you
okay. So that's what. Okay.
Yeah,
that go back to my point.
So really, in my opinion, Cole didn't start really until his last one. I wasn't a fan of the offseason like that. And the thing about it is Kendrick hasn't put anything out that you're indifferent about.
Gotcha.
Untitled, Unmastered is like, this is leaps and bounds better than what anybody can. When they hopped on Tales of Two Cities together, when Kendrick hopped on Tales of Two Cities and Cole hopped on All Right, I said, even Cole know now.
Yeah. Nah, look, bro. So that's why Good Kid, Mad City is my favorite because, like you just said, when he put that out, shit, niggas weren't trying to drop no more.
But niggas weren't really albums that people put out after that too.
It was average.
It really changed the standard, bro. Dark Sky Paradise after that.
Bruh, yeah.
So that's why I was like, 2014 Forest Hill is not gonna be that good if Good Kid, Mad City doesn't come out.
Right.
Can we agree that Drake may be the bigger of the two, but he's not the best of the two?
He's more of the popularity.
He the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah, he's more of a popularity person, but he's not the best lyricist. He made good. You could play Five Desire for me, and
he's still one of the best ever too, though.
Who has out of all three? Who has the best catalog?
Cole.
Kendrick.
Look, never change, bro. If you said something different, you wouldn't be talking no more, bro.
But on a personal level, I will probably choose Drake. But if we talking on like some objective shit, objectively, Kendrick.
And see, y'all not gonna like my take on this because Rick Ross has the greatest hip hop discography.
See, that's why I hate talking to these niggas, bro.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's why I hate talking.
That's a whole different conversation. Maybe I'm gonna have to start the Rap Nerd podcast so we can really talk about
it. Bro. You going over Jay-Z?
Over again, bro. That's like we don't compare people to Michael Jordan.
I see. No, that's what you said, though. Stand on what you said. Rick Ross.
I'm going to stand on it because guess what? I'm listening to Ross's albums more than Hope. I am.
Look, I am straight on it. We finna go to the
That's a completely different conversation, though.
Right.
Look, we're going to have to revisit that. Jazz, we're going to have to do a special episode, a little 15-minute joint or something.
We will. We can
talk about catalogs.
But no.
Yeah, Drake catalog he can't be in the conversation. I'm sorry.
I just had to ask because, people like, all right, Drake should be up there. For the last 10, 15 years, like you said, he's been that guy. He's been number one.
He's fed us more than anybody. He took the Atlanta formula and he maximized it with perfect engineering, perfect marketing, and then perfect songwriting.
Touching every genre.
Yeah, he didn't touch every genre. That's why I like him.
And he didn't put everybody on, including the two other guys. He didn't help put them on.
So he's up there for different reasons than Kendrick.
Kendrick is on his best album.
Chris, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so let's see. Best album. We can't do that.
Drake is on Good Kid, Mad City, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. Shut up.
Okay, so we're going back to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Obviously, we all know that this is supposed to be his last album on TDE as an artist, or signed to that label, and so now he's just gonna be fully operating PG Lang, which is who Baby Keem is signed to. So do you think that this album is Kendrick's retirement? Is this album gonna be Kendrick's last project that we'll ever hear?
Nah, I don't think it's his last album. I think it was just his last album on TDE. I think he's definitely gonna be heavy. I think he's probably with the with this album that just came out, with him letting that all out. Like I said, that's probably like it was probably like his 444 album with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I think now that he's got that out, he's probably gonna experience more. He's probably gonna write more. He's probably gonna put out some more stuff. And I think, with him being on his own time now, especially not operating with TDE, he's probably gonna put out more music. That's just my opinion. Chris probably have a different
I have the
opinion.
same opinion. Me and Bernie was even talking about, like, I wonder, was it a great split from TDE, right? Of course, back in February
yeah.
said that he's a grown man now. He want to start something of his own, develop artists and stuff like that. But I follow Punch on social media, and he is a very
On social
candid,
media, yeah, me too.
straightforward dude. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he was tap dancing around something there. And I look at the way that the other TDE artists and Top himself have promoted Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, or lack thereof. With that being said, of course there's more music coming. I don't think Kendrick is capable of retiring from this.
Especially when King Cole around.
Here we go.
He has that competitive thing though. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah.
Like all of them, they have like this competitive sickness that makes them great like that.
And you know what? To go back to that, well, not to go back to it, but even what's the freestyle that J. Cole had dropped where he was like, they compare me to, Kendrick and Drake, and he feel like he in third place or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think Kendrick gonna drop some more music, just to not to make it seem like he on top, but I mean
to solidify his spot there, because he doesn't.
He the boogeyman, man. He the candy man.
Yeah.
He that nigga.
That was Friday the 13th when it came out.
During Mercury in retrograde.
Yeah,
exactly. Whole different thing. He had to know that was happening when that happened. Like it happened.
He's logical, bro. He's logical.
He's extremely intellectual, but I don't think we've heard the last of it, simply because there's so much more for him to do. I feel like artistically, and like it's really limitless. He's only 35. He can do this for 20 more years.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I said, like, I think this is one of those albums where he done went through some things, from him, reaching fame, getting money, and just experiencing life. And then, he had, being married, he got 2 kids, and, he done went through life. And this is one of those albums where he just, he had to get it off his chest.
Yeah.
Just like I said, like with the Jay-Z with the 444 album, the Beyonce Lemonade album, they had to get that off. And I think this was one of those albums, and this was his last album, TDE, but I think he's gonna make more.
What the next music gonna sound like now that he's like come to terms with himself, like, because he said, I'm not the same person. What he said, I blink different. Like he just says, he said throughout the album that he's a totally different person. So I'm just curious to see like what his next content will be about. If it's not gonna be so much about sex, like what he pointed out earlier. If he's choosing to no longer champion like murder, since that's what the culture entails, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
It's gonna be interesting to see for sure. As an artist who's coming off a very introspective album, I can tell you my next music is gonna be more fun, more like,
yeah, let's go.
You got to. I got to. If you haven't already listened,
as you deserve, bro.
Make sure y'all check that Chris Townsend out on all streaming platforms.
It's everywhere. Chris Townsend, one word. Thank you. But now for real, like, I feel like this is his Frank Ocean. I feel like he might do some DMX and drop again in 6 months. I would like to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because PG Lang, we don't really know what they're gonna do.
Right.
King's album is sonically perfect.
Melodic Blue.
King album, Melodic Blue, is like sonically
one of my favorite
perfect.
albums of last year. Love that album.
Yeah, for sure. But
which album? Which album?
Melodic Blue.
Baby King album, the Melodic Blue. That's the first PG Lang release.
Yeah.
So
But
like,
y'all know, you know what? Well, one of my favorite albums last year that didn't get no recognition. I felt like
What?
the Vince Staples album.
bro,
His
amazing.
album this year was really good.
Yeah, his album from this
But
year.
the one last, this one
That's
this
what-
year is good. But the one last year was like incredible,
I
Yeah,
gotta
and
go back. I gotta go
like
back and
nobody like talked about it.
I feel like Baby King kind of sounds like Kendrick when he raps too.
But he sounds like how we want Kendrick to rap almost. If that
Yeah,
makes sense. Like,
I agree with that.
if he was a rapper that just rapped about young nigga stuff, like
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what he would
that's what
sound
he would
like.
be. Yeah,
So like I
This is like
appreciate that for sure.
a little prodigy.
I love
Definitely.
that. I love that. I want to hear more Kendrick. I want to hear what more he got to say. I just want some TDE closure because like I said, like y'all can go look. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them posted the album and stuff, but the energy was just different.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I guess
And it
they
looks
put
like he
out
covered
here-
up his TDE tattoo too.
I've heard.
That was gonna be my last question, like, because it kind of seems like Kendrick was kind of like holding the torch for TDE, like he was like
Yeah,
everybody like on this big team, and now that he's leaving, you know, what does that leave behind?
what is that?
You know,
Yeah.
continue to
So
going. Cause you got
so
there's Schoolboy Q, there's SZA, there's Isaiah Rashad, there's
that's what I was about to ask you.
J
So
Rock
did
and
y'all
Asshole.
did y'all see when Isaiah Rashad performed at Coachella?
Yeah.
Like I think TDE still gonna be. I think they're gonna be all right.
I think they're gonna be all right. We forget
Yeah, I
that
think
they
they're
had the
gonna be
best
all right.
singer in the world. They got Sir.
Yeah,
He the king of
Sir.
it
R&B.
was lit.
Yeah.
He the
Yeah.
king of
That shit
R&B. And SZA, who is arguably
You
the
got
king of modern R&B.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be all right. But I'm excited to see what PG Lang is gonna be.
yeah.
Me too. Cause he's marketing that joint. Seems like
He
it's
marking that joint. Yeah,
more than a label. Like they putting
Yeah.
out content. I done seen like little short films. The way that everything is shot, kind of similar. It seems like he's gonna be working with like what's his name, Dave Free, the one that does
Yeah,
all the
Dave
videos.
Free. He said Dave Free got another whole B in the oven.
Yep. There ain't no telling.
So, he'll probably be, I believe that he'll probably be the next hip hop billionaire that we see.
Yeah.
He's only, like I said, he turned 35 in a few weeks. So, like, he's a very young dude, too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and he's just coming into his own. Like, all we've really ever seen him do is rap for the last 10 years.
That's true.
So, like, the next 10 years is going to be very interesting. We 10 years from Good Kid, Mad City in October. You know, it'll be 10 years. Yeah.
Is it gonna be 10? Is it gonna be 10?
10, bro. October of
Man,
2012.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
Wow.
his path has been very different than his peers, right? Because really all he's really done is just make great albums and then tour on them.
Yeah.
Kendrick has, and maybe I'm you know, being a little dramatic, but I feel like Kendrick has one of the best album experiences ever in my lifetime. Like,
Yes,
one
absolutely.
Of the,
He's really number one for me. As far as like every you have
Experiences.
something to look forward
I
to
agree with that.
every time. It's like, okay, what are we gonna get this time?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what about you go into it knowing that you're gonna come out of it feeling
You're right.
like
Yep.
and that you're not gonna pick it up and put it back down. Like you know.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so
Nah, for real. Everything stopped when Kendrick dropped. I ain't gonna lie.
With that being said, now Jazz, you know how I feel about this person who I'm about to say, and I think Thomas does too. Does that make him, with the exception of Beyonce, the closest like Michael? Because of that reason. When Michael used to debut his videos, we were a little bit too young for this, but
Yeah.
everything was stopped. Like the news was stopped, the TV shows would stop, and they would be showing the new Michael Jackson video on MTV, BET, ABC, CBS.
To answer your question, in a hip hop world, yes, but
besides Kanye.
Yeah, besides Kanye, but like Michael Jackson was a polarizing figure for the world though. So I think like for Kendrick Lamar, it's just a little different because the whole world, the rest of the world outside of hip hop may not give a fuck.
But I mean, did you see the Mr. Morale tour schedule?
I looked at it. Yeah.
This is his third world tour.
Yeah, that's true.
and he
But I
only
guess
get bigger.
I haven't really done my research on or know anybody on the other side of culture to really know how they feel about Kendrick and
Just
just
look
his,
at some of his
but
tour
look,
footage.
but look though, Chris. I don't know if like Kendrick can, have people come run up on stage and like, try to,
No, that's why I said the closer.
like Mike
He
was a
closer
whole
to providing that experience. Like
I think he's talking about
from
the
a
album.
content perspective. When he dropped a video, we like, oh my God, Kendrick dropped a video.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I agree.
When Drake drop a video, it's like, have you seen the Drake video yet?
Right.
When Dot drop a video, it's like, hey bro, you gotta watch the Kendrick video. Like,
All right.